Their world is small. Their world is small. When you have big things to do, and you have a word to take, can't be discussing nonsense. And if you're a pastor and you still care about some people don't like you in the congregation, or some people don't like you among the pastors, some people are against you, if it's true that anybody is against you, you should be happy. You should be happy. Because who are you for anybody to be against you? This world is big, and they left everything and became against you. You must be very important. Yeah, you must be very important if anybody is against you. Instead of getting worried, you say, Father, I'm so grateful. I didn't know someone could be against me. Me. Wow, I'm big. Yeah. You know, I remember T.L. Osborne said something that's very, very inspiring. He said, when you see a man who's got an enemy in a powerful position, he says, mark that man. That man's going places. Yeah. You measure a man's strength. You measure a man's value, not by his friends. You measure a man's worth by the power of his enemies. The greater you are, the greater your enemies are. You measure your greatness, a man's influence, by the number and power of his enemies. Never forget that. It's not the friends that determine who you are. It's your enemies. And you know, they say, as long as you're successful, your friends will hang around you, right? As long as you're successful, your enemies will have you in focus. They would like to be your friends. So, the same for friends as it is for enemies. So you will have enemies. You're supposed to anyway. If you're successful, you should have enemies by now. What did Jesus say? Woe to you if all men speak well of you. That's what Jesus said. He says, you're cursed if all men speak well of you. For so spake they of the false prophets. Praise God. Okay. Now, let's look at verse 9. Those things which you have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do, and the God of peace shall be with you. That's why we call you every once or twice a year, so we can share some thoughts with you, and then you can pattern your life in a way you should go with the examples that we've given to you. Look at what Paul said here. He said, those things which you have both learned and received and heard and seen, he didn't say and seen in Jesus, do. He said, and seen in me, do. And the God of peace shall be with you. That's what he said. So, he's saying, have you observed how, there's some things that I have to do, and oftentimes I like to call some people to be there because I want them to see what steps we're taking on such occasions in the results.